Welcome everybody to another episode of Odysseys, and we are here with the CEO and founder of Fourthwall, Will Bauman. Will, so good to have you on the show, man. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, and thanks so much for having me, DDS 618. We've been catching up for a little while and chatting about this for a stretch. So really excited to have a chance to get on the show and chat a bit with you. So yeah, good to see you, my guy.
Oh yeah, man. It's been a while. We met each other at TwitchCon in Vegas,
Vegas,
and
yeah,
we've been talking about this since then, and we're finally here. So I appreciate
scheduled
you
stuff.
for
Yeah,
taking time to do this, man.
yeah. Likewise, I'm thrilled to do this. It's fun. I've seen your channel keep picking up and up and up. So excited to have a chance to chat and see where things go.
Right. I appreciate that, man. So let's get right into it. So can you just tell people who you are and what do you like to do?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Will. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO here at Fourthwall. Fourthwall, for those of you who don't know, is a company that makes it easy for creators to sell products online, ranging from physical goods like merch or candies or hot sauces to digital products to subscription memberships. That's on the business side. For me personally, I'm based out of the Los Angeles area. I'm out in Venice Beach down here. Before that was in New York. Hobbies and stuff. Honestly, I do a lot of work these days, so it's a lot of company building. I really find that fun and enjoyable. But beyond that, travel, hikes, outdoor stuff, that sort of thing as well. But yeah, I don't know where you're gonna take for there. But yeah, my name is Will. I've been doing Fourthwall for about 5 years, and that like working with creators and helping them build their businesses is really like a passion of mine. And then watching it from the business side as well has been super cool. So love to be a part of the space.
Cool, cool. One of the things I wanted to ask you is what made you and your other co-founders decide to come up with Fourthwall, because there's a lot of other product selling sites out there. There's a lot of other sites that sell T-shirts like
Yeah.
Teespring, Spreadshirt. So what made you guys say, you know what, we can do it better and let's do it?
Yeah, so I'll kind of like go back in time. So we started this just over 5 years ago, and the first 3 years were really my co-founders and I and a couple other folks and like 20 engineers building like the foundations of what we thought creators really needed from experience and chassis on that. Before that, I had done a bunch of like mobile apps, so Android and iOS apps. I had a receipt app called Smart Receipts, which at least was, I haven't looked at it in quite a while. It was number one in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store for its category for a while, which is pretty cool. So that was kind of like side income for me and my first business. And one of my other co-founders had previously started Teespring, which I know you mentioned on the interlude end. So he was familiar with that. And we were kind of talking about the creator space and just like, first, we're big fans, like either via gaming or watching Casey's videos or kind of you name it, just like really kind of watching it. And quickly realized that like all creators were going through the same problems, right? It was really hard to monetize. It was hard to make money off platform. It was hard to do it in a way that was true to your brand. So it wasn't, whatever, patreon.com/DDS or teespring.com/DDS618. Like you're always building someone else's brand instead of your own. And so our kind of like philosophical view along this was like creators should be building their brand as opposed to somebody else's and growing their identity and growing their audience and having that end-to-end ownership. So around the way that things were getting going, things like Teespring had some kind of ups and downs. My co-founder Walker had like, a good time there, but like where the company wanted to go and where we thought probably made the most sense for creators were sort of different directions. That was fine. So we spun off and ended up launching Fourthwall. And that was around 2-3 years of building, of just like watching content, talking with creators, seeing what they're needing, understanding the basics of like all the little things that you have to do perfectly to make the experience work. And I think a lot of it really comes from this core thesis of like, creators are busy creating content and we want to celebrate that. And while you may want a professional commerce experience, you probably don't want to be an e-commerce professional or have to deal with customer support or sales tax or quality returns. You want it to work and you want it to be incredibly high quality for your audience. And so that's really what we focused on making easy here at Fourthwall. And I think something we're the most proud of is just like how we can help creators build their brands and grow their umbrella and never really advertise or put Fourthwall forward in that experience. It's always your brand that counts, not ours. So
Nice. You said a lot in that. I love the fact you focus on the creators because that's something a lot of companies don't do. They focus on the creators as long as they can get money off of them,
Yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah.
sense. And I like the fact that you're saying that, hey, we don't have to necessarily be the brand in front of the creator's name, like you said, patreon.com/DDS618, things like that. So because I have to ask this, if you're not putting your branding on the creator's website or the creator's merchandise and or the URL and thing,
Yeah.
so are you guys expecting to only get creators through word of mouth? Like how are you expecting to reach out to other creators?
Yeah, so this is actually an interesting challenge, and I can give a whole run through summary. But this is the hard part, right? It's much easier when your brand is on everybody's website than when it isn't to grow. So where we see a ton of success is sales outreach. So this is ranging from things like DMing creators or emailing them or chatting with them. This also extends to things like events where we met. So just being at places where creators are, chatting, kind of telling the stories, things like that. Word of mouth is very successful for us. So because like, even though it's harder on the surface to grow, because it's a product that more directionally fits what creators want, which is again, building their brand, owning their audience, like having that end-to-end support system for themselves, word of mouth goes well because people see, oh, how'd you do it? Right. I love your site. DDS, like how'd you spin this thing up? Well, I use Fourthwall, right? So there's sort of like a natural cycle, especially because creators are so pocketed together. It's like you may have a community of like 10 creators that you chat with, you text with, and what strategies are you doing, or you're in DMs with, or Discords with, or whatever. And so does another pocket. So if I just get one of you to like experience the product and see, oh, I love this thing, everyone else will figure that out. And then there's a word of mouth. And then final is things like socials, Twitter messaging, Instagram post, lots of blog articles and landing pages, just assets that make it easy for folks to find us, be it on SEO or via sales outreach or things like that. So we do honestly a bit of everything. So it's a lot to kind of like orchestrate all that behind the scenes, but it's also quite fun to kind of build that audience up. So.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up the outreach part because that's how I found out about Fourthwall. I got
Yeah.
email and it was like, check this out. I'm like, who is this spamming me or whatever? And
Yeah.
I said, let me just look at it. And I looked at it and I saw one of the people that I follow on YouTube, MKBHD.
Yeah.
He had a site and I was like, okay, maybe this has a little legitimacy now. Let me,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
started looking into it and I was like, I was very impressed with what I saw. And this is last year, and since then I have like a list of things you guys added. You guys
Yeah.
added like the bio, I think it's called like in bio links or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You added buy now pay later, which I was not expecting at all, so
Yeah.
kudos. Added a bunch of different payment methods. Now you have it where when you're looking at the fourth wall product, you get the creators thoughts on those products, why it's
Yeah.
successful for them. They can now favorite their favorite products.
Yep.
Now you got DMs to creators where it can be paid or free. You
Yeah.
guys added AI, which I was not expecting that either, so AI was
Man,
impressive.
you should be doing advertising for us. You're great at this.
Look, I was going through the Discord, Twitter, and our emails that we get, and I was like, I didn't realize how much you guys added in. Like, I think it was like a month's time. Really,
Yeah.
most
So
of this came
we
within the last month.
So I'm a big believer of like shipping whatever you're creating, right? Whether it's your content or your writing or things like that. I just think the faster you ship things out, the faster you can see what the audience likes or doesn't like. Like we've shipped a bunch of features that, frankly haven't been great or haven't had tons of adoption and things like that. We've shipped a bunch of others that have been great. But you don't really always know until you get it out to the world to see and get a sense of like what works and what doesn't. I think what's true of that in business is also very true in content. Like the more you go, it's more of cycles to learn. And so I would say broadly, we, because of that, hyper prioritize like shipping over everything. Like it's okay to be 75% right if you're fast, right? I'd rather be wrong but fast than wrong but slow, right? Or even right than slow, because you learn so much quicker and you get to that point. So that really has enabled us to go incredibly fast, that kind of philosophy and mindset, and then empowering everyone on the team. you're sitting here, you're looking at me doing that. Like, I haven't written any of the code or any of the features that have done this stuff in a while. There's a whole team of people that work super hard and really, really cares about creators in the same way that I do, that enjoys that pace and enjoys being able to do stuff that really makes a meaningful difference. It could be the difference between paying your rent and whatnot, or being able to afford that next camera setup or microphone setup to kind of grow your audience as well. So we got a whole team of people that really, really cares and really loves working hard for creators. So that's the main setup, is ship fast and kind of be in the business of doing things versus talking about doing things.
Cool. Yeah, you guys just shipped a lot of things fast. So you guys added the API and well put support now. So I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
got to figure out how I can use that and have it stuff sent to my Discord now, because
Yeah,
I saw that and I immediately knew what that was for. One
exactly.
of the things I do want to touch on is the split, because I know we talked about a lot, but we haven't said it in an interview. What is
Yeah.
the split like? What does Fourthwall get, and what do the creators get?
Yeah, so there's two core setups on our system. There's what I would consider the e-commerce bucket. So I'll go through that first. And on the e-commerce side, creators keep 100%. Now, obviously, we're a business and we have to make money on top of that. So just to give a quick example of this, I think I was actually wearing this when I met you last time. So this is one of my favorite sweaters. But you can make a sweater like this in Fourthwall's dashboard. It's just drag and drop. We will quote you for that sweater. Let's say for this one, it's $30, for example. You could charge that for $40 or $50 or $100. You keep the entire difference of the profit upside on those items. Where our margin or our take is we actually go to the manufacturers we work with and say, hey, we're going to send all these creators your way and all these new sales and all this new business. Can you give us a little discount relative to whatever you would get? So if you actually go to the same manufacturers, it's all public in our catalog, it'll be the same price as you see on our platform. We make our money out of the manufacturer's side in exchange for driving a lot of consistency and volume their way. So our take, it depends on the product and things like that, but maybe 10, 15, 20% underneath on the margin. But it's the same price you would get to go to the exact same manufacturer, and you keep 100% of the profits. Final caveat, there's a payment processing fee that goes to Visa or MasterCard or Stripe or PayPal or whatever. So that's the only other cut. But you otherwise keep 100% of everything, which is really important to us, that it's very simple, very transparent pricing. The only exception to this is if you use our memberships product, we take 5% of sales through the memberships platform. That's because we host videos for you as well. And it turns out video hosting is pretty expensive. So this is just a simple model of saying, hey, sell what you sell, make as much as you can. But if you're uploading videos, like, we got to take a little more there just to make sure it all kind of evens out in terms of processing. So that's the setup for us. 0% take on e-commerce. Creators keep 100%. Our fees are baked into whatever you see the cost is what you get. On the memberships, we take a 5% cut there. The remaining 95 goes to you.
I appreciate you for being very transparent with your monetization strategy, because a lot of sites, they don't be as transparent. They don't share all of their information. So that's very impressive. And I know I wanted to ask, because I know you're saying you're reaching out to creators and things like that. But is Fourthwall just for creators, or could it be for anybody that wants to start a business? Or
Yeah, it can be for anyone, but we're just reaching out to creators. So to give like a couple examples of this, like New York Magazine, they use us to power their shop, and they sell products through Fourthwall for their limited edition drops. The Smithsonian Institute, they will also do for each of their museums. They'll do drops around different holidays and different events throughout. So there's an eclipse coming up. They'll do a Juneteenth drop. They'll do the Cherry Blossom Festival drop. They'll do a bunch of different things for kind of each of their museums under their institute. We'll do a drop through Fourthwall and things like that. So we do a lot of support across the board, but we're mostly focused on creators. So in terms of outreach and things like that, that's really who we're trying to grow with. And part of the theory for that is, I think, and the whole team thinks, that like creators are generally the future of celebrity and the future entertainer. And so if you kind of sell where the talent and influence is, over time, other people will discover you through that. By having someone like Marquez on the platform, you see, okay, Marquez uses it, I think I can use this too. And that may be true for you as a creator yourself, but it's also true for businesses where many of those employees may just watch Marquez or find his content interesting and say, okay, cool, it works for that guy, it can work for me as well. So we do support everybody at this point, but our focus entirely is on creators and building tools for creators and things that make sense for the way you sell on that style. So
Okay. Okay, that's was curious about that. I figured it was that way, but I was very curious about that.
yeah,
And I wanted to ask just about mindset. Like you guys are in a very competitive space, like we mentioned Teespring,
yeah,
Spreadshirt, Stream Elements, Stream Labs. All of these companies are I guess you say e-commerce sites trying
yeah.
to compete for the creators and things. What is your mindset on how you can either beat the competition or be better than the competition?
Yeah, so my mindset is generally one that the best product wins over time, right? Maybe not in the short term. Sometimes the easier thing to get started with wins, but over the long term, the best product wins. All else being equal, and so I think when you mentioned all those other players in the space, I think there are only two that have like really good products in the e-commerce world. One of those is us and the other is Shopify. I think those are the only two that are like a meaningful class for that. Shopify, I would distinctly put, is there for people who want to do e-commerce as their full-time job, which tends to not be creators. And Fourthwall is for people who want to do professional e-com experiences but don't want to make e-com their full-time job. I think when it's compared to everyone else and you can test out the different products and experiences and things like that, I think you'll find Fourthwall is meaningfully a step above. We always pay our creators on time. The quality is great. If you email our customer support team, you'll get a response in like 6 hours versus whoever knows how long, things like that. So I think we've seen a lot, and I think increasingly you'll see consolidation of folks either partnering with us or using our tooling to kind of make their like stop focusing on everything and let us be great on the e-com side and then plug in with us. So we'll see more and more, but I think I think we're at a spot right now where if we don't mess anything up, it's probably a matter of time before most of the creators who are selling products on those platforms slowly move over to Fourthwall.
Right, right. And it's interesting you mentioned Shopify because I know Mr. Beast promotes
Yeah,
Shopify all the time, and I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you're like, one day we'll get Mr. Beast. One day.
yeah. That
so,
would
so
that would be the dream for us to get Mr. Beast, but I suspect he's got a pretty good promotional deal with Shopify that's going to make it hard in the meantime. I don't know the numbers, but I'm guessing it's a lot. So
oh yeah, yeah, more than likely, more than likely. With the products that you guys have like sweatshirt, t-shirts, stainless steel tumblers. You
yeah,
guys have a lot of different things. Are you planning to add any more into the product realm, or are you kind of like, we kind of got enough right now? Or like, what's your thoughts on that?
yeah, we're scaling up the products we have super quickly. So I think last in the holidays of last year, we launched custom coffees and custom jewelry are in there. We're launching books and comic books and custom materials like that in the next couple. I don't want to say next couple weeks, but soon. Custom keyboard caps, and it's not like we're doing this all, ourselves, but we're pairing with partners in the space who do really cool jobs with all this stuff. So our goal is basically to move as fast as we can to launch all these products that creators sell and have a lot of success selling that we've seen. And the first step for that might be manual, right? It may be, hey, we're connecting you directly with the factory or with our partner on this. We can't like automate. Excuse me, we can't automate everything. Like this is drag and drop. You just locate that design on the sweater and off it goes. But there's certain products, if you're going to do a custom plushie or things like that, the technology is just not quite there yet to be able to do those on demand. Plushies are available in our catalog today, but you can't, self-serve that. There's still upload designs and get some mock-ups back and forth. But increasingly, we're adding more and more. And I would say by the end of this year, I'm guessing we'll have something like 1,000 to 2,000 different like product blanks. But many of those will be blanks, kind of concepts. But many of those you'll be able to make bespoke offerings as well. So it's like, hey, I want to tweak this one thing or tweak that other one thing, and just make it easy for creators. So.
Got you, got you. That's crazy. 1,000 to 2,000 products. That's a lot of products.
Yeah. So we
I
want
c-
we want you to be able to sell whatever's the right thing for your audience. I would say generally, just to kind of keep running on this for a sec, when you're starting out, I think a good first test is if you can sell 5 T-shirts or 5 hats, right? That's sort of like, do you have an audience that's willing to spend money and buy from you, right? And I think a lot of folks want to sell everything, but usually like that 5 shirt, 5 hat test is a good kind of first line. Then if you can sell 5 shirts or 5 hats, you can probably sell 100 to 500 or something that's like a little more fashionable, a little more oriented, pay a premium designer to come here. Maybe there's some kind of custom stitching on the side or custom that. And then once you can sell 100 to 500 or something consistently, then you might scale further to custom products via custom plushie or custom hot sauce or anything like that like really is specialty. Like Will Neff did a drop on Fourthwall recently, and he sold out I think 1,000 bottles of hot sauce in just under 2 minutes, which is really cool. But part of what like makes that so effective is it also cross sells with the other products on his shop, so via the stickers and things like that. So there's always this baseline umbrella that makes sense to sell, and then as you keep growing, layering in more and more unique or specialty things that really fit you as a creator, your audience segment, the stories you're telling, and kind of allow you to kind of scale up from there.
yeah, I remember there was a Fourthwall presentation at GCX, and the one
Yeah,
thing they were saying was uh, at the very least have stickers in your shop because that does
yes,
lead to return customers. So even you just talking about selling 5 hats, 5 shirts, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, man, if you include stickers in there and people just keep
for
returning,
sure.
like
Yeah,
it's that's really amazing to hear that you're scaling. I mean, because you said Fourthwall been in business 5 years now.
yeah,
Um, I just really heard of Fourthwall last year, and to
yeah,
see the quickness that is scaling is insane.
yeah.
I didn't think it would be that quick, and I remember the I think it was last year you guys just launched the Fourthwall app, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. With
Oh, we've actually had the app since the beginning, but what we launched is each creator can have their own app. So there's these progressive web apps that do push notifications and background playback. So if you turn on the memberships, anyone signs up will get its own, DDS 618 app, and it's just available for you right away. So lots of things like that coming too. But ton of work for the team, but everyone's like so focused on like getting every little detail perfect and making it feel and shine like the artistry of it, the craftsmanship, making it feel like a really premium experience throughout.
okay. Yeah, that just little things like that. I think it's huge for us as creators.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that you have like New York Magazine, the Smithsonian, things like that. Then you also have other big creators like MKBHD, and I saw GM Canty on there as well.
Yeah.
So my question is for a smaller creator who's thinking about maybe not competing with them per se, but like, hey, I want to be able to sell as much as the big guys, or I want to start trending upward. What would be some advice you would give to a creator who maybe doesn't have as large of a following as those
Yeah.
top creators and things like that?
So I think it's very natural to not have the same following that the superstars have, but I think the number one thing to always keep in mind is Marquez didn't start out with 18 million subs, right? He started out as whatever 14-year-old kid making a quick video with kind of like lighting, but he kept shipping. He kept creating content every day, and he kept looking for new opportunities to grow and identify with the audience and figured out what people liked him for and created more of that content. That to me is my number one piece of advice. Like the hard part about creating content is the same that's hard for us as a business is like putting yourself out there every single day, trying to get 1% better every day, try to do one new thing or creative thing every single day. Mr. Beast says the same thing as well. I've never created content, but his philosophy is always make 100 videos. The first 100 are going to suck. And then on 101, you're going to figure it out. And I think that's true in the content world. I think it's true in the business world. I think it's true if you're a writer. I think it's true for, even if you're a parent, trying to, probably it's tough the first 100 days. And then after you, all right, I kind of got the hang of this now, right? So like in whatever you're doing in life, there's something to be said about just sticking with it and wanting to stick with it. Another anecdote about this is like 99% of podcasts stop before the 20th episode. So you're not really competing with all the people that are starting. You're competing with the 1% of people that make it to episode 21, right? So a lot of it's sticking with it. And then in terms of selling products online, in the early days, it's about community and support. Like I wouldn't consider selling products online unless you have a deep specialty that like, hey, I am a fitness guru, or I'm an SEO guru, or I'm a paid ads guru, or I'm like an editing guru. Like maybe people will pay you $1,000 a month or something for that. But for most people who are content oriented, it's about support. It's like, hey, I'm a fan of the channel. I watch you for an hour every night. This is fun. You make me laugh. Like, I just want to support and throw, 5, 10, $20 your way, have a coffee mug or have a sticker. And that reminds me every day. So like all that stuff, I wouldn't think of it as a money-making thing early on. I think of it as a community growth lever and sort of, it's a collectible. It's like I was there at this moment in this person's trajectory, as if you had, let's say, a Jordan rookie card or whatever. Like you had the collection moment in the step in the journey, and that's really what merchandise is to me, is like the collectible early on that eventually can scale into like real money, but usually it's a step beyond, or a viral TikTok or two that like allows it to scale outside. So.
That's a very interesting thing you said, like the collectible, because I know there's been people I bought merch from. They don't sell that merch anymore, so I can be like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm the one that had the merch, and I was
Yeah.
there back in the day, So that's
Yeah.
a very interesting point, and very good point that you brought up there. And I'm going through some of the shops. I was looking at it's crazy. Like I'm literally looking at the New York Magazine shop,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to think that a creator who has, let's just say, 100 followers total on all social media can have a site that's, or a platform that's the same platform that New York Magazine uses and things like that. So like how did you, I'm trying to think of how to word the question, but
Yeah.
how did you think of something as far as where you wanted it to be, I guess, even playing field for everybody? Like, not like, let's say, like New York Magazine. I'm using them because they're
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
site that's
For
pulled up.
looking at
But
them. Yeah.
yeah, so like a creator with less than 100 followers on all platforms can still have the same platform as New York Magazine. Like, what is the mindset behind that? Like, why? Because some
Yeah.
platforms, they choose different tiers and
Yeah.
things like that. So why does Fourthwall allow everybody to have that even playing field?
Part of it is supportive, that I want to do that. And I'm a technologist, and it's kind of like the same invention to allow New York Magazine to do that. There's no extra work for me to enable that to somebody who's on day one of their content journey, right? It's the same technology, it's the same platform, it's the same this, that, or the other, right? So that's very easy. And then selfishly, from a business standpoint, I believe in creators, and creators is the future of entertainment. And I'd rather have more people start their journey on Fourthwall and grow with the platform than basically, I couldn't start there, so I started somewhere else because they would let me in. And then, 6 months from now, they're blowing up and they're like, if we just let them in, or, so like some of it's, business minded, like we want to get people in early when they're starting out too. And then some of it is just, we're inventors here. We're tech people. We try to make something. If it works for this group, it's probably going to work for this group, and the exact same thing, because everyone generally who uses us has the same overall philosophy, that they want a great professional premium experience, but they don't want to do all the work behind the scenes. They don't want to do customer support. They don't want to figure out supply chain. They don't want to deal with logistics. They don't want to figure out which 200 apps you got to install to get started. You just kind of want it to work and be easy, but look and feel like you. And it turns out that solution kind of works no matter where you're a nonprofit or a restaurant selling merch online, or a startup trying to launch swag for your company, or who we're focusing on, which is a creator who's doing this every day and has built up an audience and whatever else. So,
Okay, that's a very good response.
yeah.
So one of the things I do notice about the Fourth Wall platform is that you do have themes that people can choose for the site. Obviously, people can customize their HTML, and because people didn't know, you can customize your HTML, which I've shown you how I've used it.
And I'm going to have you market press. You good at this?
It's just amazing how you customize the HTML. Are you guys planning to add more themes in the future, or is that just you guys kind of sticking with what you have now?
No, absolutely. So right now we are working on adding more sections to each of our existing themes. So rather than having to do custom HTML, there's a lot of other things we're doing to make it easier. There's a long technical story for this, but basically making it easier to create a section and move your buttons around or swap text up and that within a singular section versus a single like section as an entity. Once we do that, that's been a huge re-architecture shift that the team is just wrapping up on. We're going to start pumping out a bunch of new themes because we have a lot of like really cool ones in the backlog, but we wanted to finish this architecture foundation first and then add on a bunch of new themes. So I would say before the end of the year, we'll probably have, 15, 20, 30, something like that. Each one is unique. So you don't need so many because as you add the more sections and flexibility, it becomes easy to say, all right, this one's almost that one, but you just got to switch these component order around. But we're planning to launch a bunch more of those. I want to make it easier to make beautiful online experiences for your fans.
Nice, nice. I remember. I can't remember the. I know it was WordPress, and it
Yeah.
was some kind of theme, and it does exactly what you're talking about. Have the blocks, you can move the blocks and things. So I know
Yes.
exactly what you're talking about. So that's really cool to see the team working on improving the technology, improving the
Yep.
website, and things like that. So I did want to ask. So other than Fourth Wall, are you doing any other business right now, or is Fourth Wall their main baby, the only thing you're
Yeah.
doing?
Fourthwall is it. If you want to look me up, I did one called Smart Receipts, which I still own, but my business partner does all the work. I don't think I've looked at that in like long, long time. So Fourthwall is it. I'm a big focus person. I think it's hard to do. I'd rather do one thing really well than 10 things kind of just okay. So fourth wall is the focus. That's where I put in all my time. That's where all my creative energy goes. And I really love it. I love building for creators. I love working with creators. I love being able to watch somebody's content and then unexpectedly say, oh, they're using Fourthwall. That's sweet. You just discover somebody and then you see the channel pop up as well. So, yeah, it's something that's really exciting for me. But yeah, Fourthwall's full focus. So.
And where do you see Fourth Wall being within the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, you guys have scaled incredibly fast. Like I was naming off all the things you guys added within the last month, which
Yeah.
is insane to think about. And you're already talking about you're getting ready to add new themes, you're getting ready to add new technology into the website building, 1,000 to 2,000 products. So where does Fourth Wall go from here? Like within the next 5 to 10 years?
So in the next 5 to 10 years, there's probably a much longer story for this, but probably in the first 2 years, I want to be where creators start building their offline or their online business that's off their primary or secondary socials. So that's probably first goal. And second goal is where they continue to scale that business. So not everyone gets to be Mr. Beast launching Feastables and selling, however many hundreds of millions I assume they're selling every year. But the next Mr. Beast or the next whomever, I want them to start on Fourthwall and be able to build and grow their business in a way that helps them make a lot more money than any other platform than that. So we're really there. Our goal is to be in the creator's journey as their business partner, business platform partner. Every step from day one, you're on video number 10, you've decided, hey, I'm going to make this my thing. I'm going to do this regularly, to video number 100. We're like, hey, I'm starting to make a little money around this thing, to video number 1,000, where you're launching a premium brand, whether that's a yoga pants line or a custom jewelry line or a custom microphone set or any of 1,000 things. We want to power that. Pair with your memberships, however you want to sell for your brand. Maybe it's podcast, you're doing a bonus episode, off channel. And then today, year 10 of you and your creative career, year 20, whatever your trajectory takes, we want to be the ones that power that. And so that's really what we're targeting, is helping creators succeed and make a bit more, make a bit more so they can hire that extra editor or buy that better microphone or buy a nicer video equipment, or eventually build a team, hire 20, 30 people so that they can throw events in person or whatever it may be. Like there's a lot that just like turning your creative audience into the ability to make a little extra money can go a long way for whatever your aspirational dreams are as well. So that's what our goal is to keep helping more creators basically.
I love it. I love it. That's going to be an incredible journey to witness. I know there's going to be somebody that starts on fourth wall. Maybe it's me that
Yeah,
builds and
it's you.
scales up, right?
Yeah.
That builds and scales everything the way you're talking about. It's funny you mentioned Mr. Beast Feastables. How incredible would it be for Fourth Wall to be the platform behind the next Feastables or something
Yeah.
like that? So, yeah, man, that was pretty much all the questions I have for you. I definitely appreciate you taking the time out.
Yeah,
Do
of
you want to
course.
drop your socials or where people
Yeah.
can find you or Fourth Wall?
Yeah, you can find Fourthwall at Fourthwall HQ on Twitter. We're just about, I think, to get the primary handle, but we're still at Fourthwall HQ. So follow us on Twitter or Instagram Fourthwall HQ or TikTok Fourthwall HQ or YouTube Fourthwall HQ. I am dubbed Bauman, so Dubb and Bauman is my last name. If you search for Fourthwall or Will Bauman, Twitter is maybe easier. You can drop them in the things, but Twitter, Instagram, you name it, all across the board on that. So yeah, give me a follow and give me a shout out. Like I read my DMs, I read every message, I read Reddit threads, I need wherever I'm chronically online. Like if there's something you love about Fourthwall, please let me know. If there's something we can do better, please let me know as well. We're always trying to make this the best thing for creators. So
Cool, cool. There is one question I
hit me.
forgot to ask.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Fourth Wall? Because I know they say breaking the fourth wall and
Yeah.
things like that. I didn't know if that had a play in it.
That is exactly where it comes from, the theatrical phrase of breaking the fourth wall. There's probably the less exciting story of this. So our first placeholder name was Pop Shop. We wanted to kind of be like a pop-up shop. I don't know if you know Keith Haring, but he's like a famous artist from like 80s, 90s, around there. He had a brand. He's unfortunately passed away. But we had a Pop Shop domain, but his estate reached out and was like, you can't use that. That's trademarked by Keith. So we're like, all right, so now we got to find, a new name. So we're browsing through. We're like, which one we get? Which we get? Eli, one of my co-founders, he was like, what about Fourthwall? And so it's scary picking a name because you're like, you got this list of 20 names. You're like, once we pick one, that's what we are forever. So you better, love that. But like we kept going back to Fourthwall. We were able to get the .com, and then that's it. But it's an homage to breaking the fourth wall, allowing creators to talk directly to their audience, whether it's via personalized video shout outs, messages that fans leave in your checkout experience, memberships or direct messages you send back, paid videos. We want to allow you to break that fourth wall and speak directly to your fans and kind of have that audience ownership. So that's where it comes from. But the little backstory is different name that was no longer allowed for us. So
That's crazy. I was right there.
yeah.
But thank you again for taking time out of your busy days. I know you got a lot going on at Fourth Wall, obviously with scaling up and everything. So
Yeah.
I definitely want to thank you for taking time out to do the interview. It's been a pleasure. This has been a fun interview, by the way.
Likewise, I appreciate you having me on DDS. Like it's I love chatting with creators and just hearing your story and like see what you're doing, and props to you for all your growth and kind of sticking with it. I know content early on, it's about figuring out that channel's a niche, but I want to say props to you. Really enjoy this stuff and keep after it. So
Thank you so much, man. I definitely appreciate you. And thank you to everybody that's watching right now or have watched. We do appreciate you. And make sure you smack that like, subscribe, and all of that because we will have way more content coming soon. So that is Will Bauman. I knew I was gonna mess it up. I knew
you good enough. You good enough. Will Bauman, and like and
Will.
subscribe to the channel. This is my guy here. Give him some follows. So.
Yeah, thank you. So you guys have a great one, and we'll see y'all next time.
Later, y'all. Thank you so much.